boys and girls, dudes and dudettes. Once again, we welcome you to the GMAP Broadcast Network. I'm going to take time out to welcome this young lady to the show. Cyndi McKoy is here. Good evening, Cyndi. How you doing?
Good evening. I'm doing very well. God bless you, my brother. It is a pleasure to be here with you today. How are you?
Oh, please. You know what? If you have to ask, I must be slipping. Stop it. You know I'm doing good. I cannot help but to do good. You know what? I'm going to dive right in, Cyndi. Once again, we welcome you to the GMAP Broadcast Network. We welcome you to our family as one of our featured authors, and I really appreciate that. And, God knows this is an amazing opportunity for me as well as you, but I want you to step up to the plate. Simply introduce yourself, tell us who you are, tell us where you're from. Who is Cyndi McKoy?
Who I am. I'm Cindy Lady Favor McCoy. I was in radio for 9 years, so I have that to back up. I'm a mother, grandmother. Right now, I'm a widow. I'm a breast cancer survivor. I'm your girl next door. I am just a all around real chick doing what God has me to do. In a nutshell, that's who I am.
Ooh, I love it. And you know what? If you keep it real, it always speaks for itself. I tell you the
It'll stay
truth,
real.
it is such a pleasure to have you here today. And I'm excited. I'm excited for a couple of reasons, but today I'm excited about this new workbook that you have available, Surviving the Storm. And for those of you that don't know, now you know. Cyndi is one of our featured authors on the GMAP Broadcast Network, GMAP1.com. Stop by our platform. Click on the tab that is simply titled Featured Authors, okay? When you click on that tab, you'll see a copy of the publication I'm currently showing you on the screen, Surviving the Storm. And this is the workbook edition. And of course, we want to hear a little bit more about it. So, Cyndi, step in. Tell us a little bit about Surviving the Storm.
Listen,
What is it all about?
I am ecstatic about telling you about this. In the word, it says in Luke that the storm will come. And depending on how you got your house built, it says the storm is going to beat vehemently on your house. And if you got it built on sand, you're going down with it. But if you got that rock, you're going to stand. So that's what I'm here to let you know that you can survive the storm. You've got to have your foundation set up to where nothing can shake you. However, in 2024, it was a year to remember, one of the years that I guess that I would like in some ways to forget. My husband, we were talking like you and I are talking, Pastor Kevin. He was
Mm-hmm.
on his way out, doing 3 days a week, just doing Amazon, just for a little, just to get out of the house. He had already
Right,
retired.
right.
So he walks out of the house, and within 3 hours, he's had a sudden cardiac arrest.
Wow.
The words that I spoke to him that morning were the last words I was able to hear him say back to me. When I got him back, he couldn't speak to me. He was bedridden, tracheostomy, feeding tube. And for 14 months, I cared for him, hand and feet, vitals, washing, giving, taking him to the doctor's appointments, changing. I mean, if you name it, I did it.
Right, right.
That was for 14 months. And then he passed away May 5th, 2024. 2024 is a year that I will always remember. It will always be very significant to me. Within less than 6 months, I was diagnosed with the most aggressive kind of breast cancer. It was triple negative.
Wow.
They said it's aggressive, hard to treat. It doesn't respond to normal treatments, and you can't target it. It's relentless, it's deadly, it's stubborn, it's mean. So we got to get you in here right away. We got to get this stuff cut out. I went through a double mastectomy, um, had to make a lot of hard and decisions during that time. But I'm telling you, 2024 tried to rock me. I was supposed to be grieving, but now I'm going to chemo. And I
Woo!
did, yeah, I
You
did
know,
chemo started. I had the mastectomy in December. So I found out that I had breast cancer October. Um, The first available appointment was December.
Uh-huh.
By January 6th, I had the port placed, and I was on my way to 6 hours of chemo every every 3 weeks for 4 months. And
Wow.
yeah, and
Wow.
I tell you, it tried to take me out.
Well,
But
I'm a firm believer that if it's not your time, it's not your time. At the
you're
same
absolutely
time,
right.
I believe wholeheartedly that your destiny was determined before your delivery. And
Absolutely.
when you embrace that, you simply have to embrace the process. And the process is never easy. We talked about this one day, and of course, look at the process that Jesus went through when he walked the face of this earth. I mean, they talked about him, they spit on him, they lied on him, they ripped his skin from his body. They hollered to him what they might be hollering about us: crucify him, kill him. We don't need him. But the songwriter came back and said, "That's not how the story ends." And I'm looking at you. I'm hearing your story. I'm embracing the process, and I'm here to tell you that's not how the story ends. And now you have this amazing publication out that's available. I mean, it's we're going to talk about that, but when you think about surviving the storm, everyone, and I mean everyone, goes through a storm, multiple storms. And if you have the integrity, if you have the drive to go ahead and embrace that storm and make it through it, you got a story to tell. And now is this Cindy? Is this a follow up to something that you've previously written before?
It's not. This is going to be my first, actually on Sunday of j- just last Sunday, a couple of
Uh huh.
days ago,
Uh huh.
that was the first time I spoke out about it.
Wow.
Um, to me, I'm kind of a strong individual. I don't like the pity so much, and so whenever I got the diagnosis of breast cancer, I told very few people.
Okay.
So now people see me, they see me with short hair, they think it was a choice that I cut my hair. So hearing that, okay, less than 6 months after he passed, I was diagnosed with breast cancer is going to be, um, a surprise for a lot of people.
Right. Right.
So deciding that to write this book came from people seeing me and hearing it and say, wow, you don't look like what you're going through or what
Right.
you've been through.
Mm.
And my daughter called me and she says, Mom, you got to write the book. She's a realtor here in Fayetteville, North Carolina. And I forgot to tell you, I'm from Fayetteville, North Carolina, born and
Ah.
raised in Bladen County. That's look, but
Okay.
I'm a country girl. Some say I'm not a country girl, but hey, I was born country. May got
Uh.
a little thrown up in there, but I'm still a country girl. But my daughter said, you got to write this book because a lot of my friends are saying you don't look like you've gone through what you've gone through, and they understand the story. They walk through it with me. However, um, their rendition of seeing me come through this and fight to get through it, they say you got to be able to let people know that they can get through this thing like you did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Losing your breast for some women is very hard. I guess it's for most women. For me, it was hard, but I went back to the word, and the word says in the NIV version, it says, if there's anything, if your right hand offends you, if it causes you to stumble, cut it off, throw it away.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my thing. I'm very practical. When I think about the word, I think of it in a practical way.
Yeah.
God sends us and tells us things for specific reasons.
Mm-hmm.
So when they offended me, I had to get rid of them
Well,
because how
it,
am I going to lose my life over something that is just there?
right.
And
Right.
my identity is not stuck there. I am much more than that. So that's the decision that I made. Many other women do not make that decision, and that's your choice.
Mm-hmm.
However, the choice to choose life and live was all I thought about. I thought of the struggle that I went through taking care of my husband hand and feet, which was a hard journey to travel.
Right.
And then having to lose him, and we were married for 23 years. It was our both our second marriages, but he was the love of my life.
Right.
And losing him was very traumatic to me.
Mm.
But having to stop grieving for the love of my life to now get into the fight of my life,
Mm.
wow, it was hard transitioning from the two, but it was necessary to do it. And how you do it, I have no idea. Something in me just switched. And I mean, after the chemo, after receiving your cancer free,
Mm-hmm.
there are times now that I'm in the grieving process.
Ah.
I'm during that time of having cancer and going through the chemotherapy treatments and everything happening with that. I mean, that is a monster within itself. So, and I talk a little bit about that in the book, but I just talk about the struggle of
Yeah.
being a caregiver, being, having to take care of the person you made a commitment to, and having those conversations. And it's so very important that if you're connected with someone,
Mm.
have those conversations of, if something happens, where do you want to be? How do you want me to handle these things? And we did that. We had these conversations, hard conversations, but necessary.
Right.
And I'm
Right.
so grateful. I did not immediately listen to what he wanted because I did not want to let him go all of a sudden. I could not do that. So for 14 months, I gave him everything I had. I proved to him that I loved him regardless of whether he could talk to me. All he had to do was look at me, and I was there. And I gave that to him, the undying love. Because in the word it says, what is love? Love is patient, love is kind. Love can endure a multitude of things. And it's an action word. It's just not a word that's spoken and you just take it as those four letters. It is when you put it into action. And I showed him every day that I cared for him exactly how much I loved him.
Well,
And when I lost him, I often say he left me. And I know that's hard to say. That's not probably not the right thing to say,
Mm-hmm.
but I was fighting for life.
Well,
And,
a lot of people.
we have to accept God's will for that. And I knew that his desire was for me not to do it. So when the decision came that I had to make the decision for him, I made the decision based upon what he asked me to do in the begin with. And I watched him take his last breath. The
Wow.
hardest thing I think that anyone.
Surviving the storm. Surviving. And a lot of times, Cindy. A lot of times, you go through things because God knows that it's something that you personally can endure. There's a lot of people who could have went through something similar to yours and they wouldn't be able to make it through because it was not pinpointed to them. See, you have a story to tell, you're telling that story, but God knew all along that it was something that you personally can endure. A lot of times it's been said, your story is not for you. Your story is for others to embrace, to encourage, to motivate, to inspire, to let them know that they too can and will make it through the journey. Now, when you look at this publication, and of course, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that may just be joining us or those that may in fact catch the rebroadcast, Surviving the Storm, this is the workbook edition, and of course, We want you to know that Cyndi is one of our featured authors on the GMAP Broadcast Network, GMAP1.com. Stop by our platform, click on the tab that is simply titled Featured Authors. You'll see a copy of the publication I'm currently showing you on the screen. And of course, when you click on that copy, it will take you to the necessary location to find out more intimate information and details about the author as well as the publication. Now, I got to ask you this question. Now that you've embraced the process and you basically have up to this point endured the journey, you looked at the good, you looked at the bad, you looked at the right, you looked at the wrong, you looked at the left, you looked at the right, all of that stuff. You, in fact, have overcome the trials and tribulations. When you look at it from the very, very beginning to where you are right now, what's next? What's next for you as an author?
Um, there's a lot of things that God has in store in regards to this situation. When I look to the left and right, up and down, I'm still grieving. I'm still healing. I'm still hurting. But I'm still moving and I'm still standing. And I'm grateful for that. I actually have a boots on the ground coloring book out there um, under the Silver Lining Network. I also have another book out there that I'll just bring all these things forward later. But I do want to feature this Surviving the Storm, and there will be another book that is more in depth with Phil and I's story about how things came about in a much more intimate setting, and all of the things that I did during the time that I cared for him. Because during the time I cared for him, the doctors were telling me, you got to write this story because there are things that you're telling us that we've never heard of.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was researching things to replicate walking, to get him up. I would get him in a Hoyer lift, put him on this machine called the quadricizer, and it would work his legs for him and move his arms for him. And I have the videos and things of the stuff that I was doing. He wasn't getting the nutrients, and there was this food which is pureed to go into feeding tubes that I just researched, and I finally got the company to send it to me. And the doctors didn't hear it. They didn't know anything about these things. So I'm going to write a more intimate book about our journey and just caring for a person in that situation, because
Oh,
there's a lot of information that we miss because doctors practice medicine. They don't know all the answers.
mm-hmm.
We give them a lot more credit than, I wouldn't say than that they're due. However, you got to do the work.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
did the work for my husband. I found out everything that I felt he needed at the time. And that's what I put together for him. Um, so um, forever, for whoever is on this journey of being a caregiver, um, do the homework.
Yeah.
Do the homework. If you look to do it right, do the homework. Just love your person to the point to where I went the extra mile, and it just, and that's my journey.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's my heart. That was my love to my husband, and I feel like that between us was just sacred. And it is, your love will shines through. When you say you love someone, it should be in your actions. That's just what I'll say about that. But to answer your question, there is so much more. With Surviving the Storm, I have went on to be a certified grief coach. A lot of times, people going through grief only want a listening ear. They want to be able to talk to someone who has walked the journey, who has gone through the same thing that they're going through. And that is also on the website. There is also a 10 series podcast, which will take you from that first day. That first day you get the word that your loved one has passed on to rebuilding your life. And we walk through that journey. It can also be for someone who has lost their breast due to cancer, due to a double mastectomy. These things are private to some women and they're traumatic to others. And I just want to be here to be able for you to open up to me. We
Amen.
can talk about it.
Amen.
I will be a listening ear. I will help you through this process because sometimes, I had my children. I found out during this time, I have a lot of associates, close friends, not so much. So I had to rely on my children and my grandkids. I have two children, I have eight grandchildren. Both kids have four kids. So they were my rock. They were my everything. And but if you have people in your corner, and if you don't have people in your corner, you can call me. Just link to the website. It will have a place where you can put on the calendar a day that works for you,
Amen.
and I'll
Amen.
have my days that I am available, and I am here for you.
Amen.
Also, the 10 series podcast, it is available as of yesterday.
Oh,
I just hit the intro to it and the first episode. So every Tuesday, thank you to you, Pastor Kevin.
bless
Every
you.
Tuesday, I will release another series. And I will definitely keep that going because surviving the storm is just that. And the thing is you often hear that you're either walking out of a storm, you're walking in a storm, or you're in the middle of the
That's right.
storm.
That's right. That's right. Oh my
That's
goodness, I'm
that.
excited, man. I tell you, I'm excited for you. I'm excited about what you're doing. I have to thank God for you taking time out, being here with us today, and our partnered networks, of course, and of course, most definitely, I have to share my gratitude for you accepting the invitation to be a part of our
Absolutely.
broadcast network family, and of course, for those that don't know, Cyndi will be back tomorrow because we're going to be talking and launching one of her podcasts here on the GMAP
Absolutely.
Broadcast Network. We'll get more into that because we definitely want you guys to tune in tomorrow at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time as we officially launch Podcast One, the very first one here on the GMAP Broadcast Network, and we thank God for that. So she is being overwhelmingly welcome to our broadcast network family
Thank
in a
you.
multitude of ways. Now, if in fact someone wanted to reach out and show their love, care, concern, and support, purchase a copy of your current edition, of course. And as we said before, Surviving the Storm. This is the workbook edition. We want to find out what is it? What's the process? If someone wanted to purchase it today, what's the process to do so? I mean, how can your
Just
book
go
be
to the
purchased?
website. Yeah, just go to the website. It'll be the Amazon link is there. And if not today, it'll be there tomorrow. But go to Amazon. If you go to the website, go to its featured authors, then go to Surviving the Storm. Click, go to the website, and it should be on Amazon there. Um, Also, let me give my number. I've had my number for 23 years, so I really don't care who has my number. It's 910-978-6412. You can call me
Amen.
and we can talk.
Amen.
I'm
And of
okay with
course,
that.
we encourage all of you to show your love, care, concern, and support. Purchase a copy of the publication. If you have any doubt, you can contact me. I'll make sure to connect the dots. And of
Amen.
course, if in fact you do, and when you do, we want you to make sure that you share this information, share the publication
Absolutely.
with all of your followers, your family, your friends, and please,
Yeah,
once you've completed the process, once you've embraced the publication, please leave a review. I'm going to say it again.
absolutely.
Please
Yes.
leave a
Thank
review.
thank
So
you.
important for Cindy, so important for myself and those that are on the outside looking in. They want to know what you think. They want to know how you feel. They want to know your maybe your recommendations and suggestions. They want to know, so we want you to help us out. And please leave a review. Now, before I let you go, Cindy, I want to find out one thing. When someone purchases a copy of your publication, the workbook edition and or the publication itself,
Yes.
and they get it, they read it, they embrace it, they embark in it, they participate in areas that's necessary. What is it that you as an author want each and every individual that does that to hold on to? What is it that you want them to take with them after they complete the process of reading your publication?
I want them to grab hold of healing, grab hold of purpose, grab hold of your next. Just move forward. Like you said before, things come to us to make us strong. And yes, others are delivered by the words of our testimony. Testify, tell someone. I never hold anything in. I want you to find healing. I want you to find that joy again. And if you've never had it, I want you to reach for it because
Mm.
it is achievable. It is definitely achievable. I didn't think that I would ever smile again. But
Oh,
look, I'm smiling.
yes,
I
you
haven't
are.
really started back singing. I haven't. My husband was my musician, so I haven't yet started back singing much. But I do want to be able to sing again.
Amen.
But tomorrow, we're going to be launching the Got Faith Now What podcast. That's what I started before all this storm came.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, you got faith. Now what? What
Mm-hmm.
you going to do with it? Are you going to just talk about it? Or are you going to use it? So it looks
Mm.
like the enemy put me to a test.
Yep.
So I did it. I got the faith and I used it. I put
Amen.
it to work. Now I've survived the storm. And so the thing is, I also have, because it seems as if when you go through something like this, there are times when you have a problem sleeping. I've done a guided meditation. It is a guided sleep meditation that will put you to sleep. And I've tried it. I've tried it on my grandkids, and they're gone. I didn't even
Mm.
try it for myself. But I tell you what, if you have a problem sleeping, I also have this guided meditation. It is on YouTube. However, if you go to my website, everything is there.
Amen.
Surviving the Storm series. But if you would press that link, and Pastor Kevin will have more information on the GMP GMAP1 site so that you can easily navigate through the process. I do want
Amen.
to make this as easy as possible. And what I also want to do is to encourage you to link with me on Facebook. It's Cyndi Lady Favor McKoy. I'll be
Amen.
more than happy to talk with you, to get with you, to help you through this journey. It hasn't been easy, but I tell you, it's been worth it. It's
It,
been worth it to get your smile back again, to walk through the storm and say, listen, you did take some stuff from me, but you ain't going to take my voice. You are not going to take my joy. You're not going to take anything else from me. And when you do, I'm going to be out here surviving the storm again. If that's what I got to do, but I'm going to do it with joy.
surviving the storm. Cyndi McKoy, one of our featured authors here on the
Sure.
GMAP Broadcast Network, GMAP1.com. Again, stop by our platform. Click on the tab that's simply titled Featured Authors. You'll see a copy of the publication. Let me show it to you on the screen one more time. Surviving the Storm of the Workbook Edition. And of course, we want you to show your love, care, concern, and support. Purchase a copy, share the information, leave a review. And we want you to also be sure to tune in on tomorrow as we prepare to officially launch the podcast. It's going to be airing here on the GMAP Broadcast Network every Wednesday night. And we want you to make sure that you show your support for that. Hear what it is that's being said, what's being shared, what's being recommended. Great resources, great
Absolutely.
conversation, a beautiful opportunity for you to continue to stay on your journey and be encouraged. We thank God for each
Amen.
and every one of you. We thank God for our partner networks as well. And Cindy, we thank God for you. I appreciate
Amen.
each and every moment, and I want you to know something, that if there is anything that we can do to continue to assist you in any way, shape, form, or fashion while you are continuously on this journey, we want you to pick up the phone, give us a call, let us know. Don't text, don't chat, don't tweet, none of that. We want you to pick up the phone and call and let us know whatever it is that we can do. We will be more than happy. And when you do so, the answer will always be yes, and you'll never have to ask me twice. I guarantee you that. We appreciate you. We appreciate your time. Looking forward to seeing you again tomorrow as we
Amen.
officially launch the podcast here on GMAP. Until then, we want you to continue to be blessed and be a blessing. Have a fantabulous rest of your evening, and I'm going to look forward to talking with you again soon, all right?
Absolutely. Be
All right.
blessed. Thank you.
Cyndi McKoy, featured author here on the number one station in the nation, GMAP Broadcast Network, GMAP1.com. Don't forget, pick up your copy, Surviving the Storm, and of course, share the information with all of our followers, all of your followers, your family, your friends. Share this information and leave a review, and don't forget to show your love, care, concern, and support. Till then, we got some more great stuff coming up real soon, right here on the number one station in the nation, GMAP Broadcast Network, GMAP1.com. Keep it locked. We'll be back with more right after this. Stay close. Don't move. We'll talk to you soon.
It's inspirational, motivational, uplifting, and encouraging. Gospel music and production.